Let's begin. Today's November 15th, 2024, and we're solving the Daily Turing Machine Puzzle. Today's puzzle uses the following 5 criteria cards. Criteria card 6, 15, 16, 19, and 21. And the puzzle uses the blue verification cards. The code above is your way to get more information on today's puzzle by searching the code on turingmachine.info. Let's go solve. So in the grid above, we've got our 5 criteria cards. On the top row, we've got criteria card A, criteria card B, and criteria card C. On the bottom row, we've got criteria card D, and finally, criteria card E. So criteria card A takes a look at our middle digit, the square digit, and the Turing Machine will let us know whether it's an even digit or an odd digit. Criteria card B will take a look at our 3 digits, triangle, square, and circle, and the Turing Machine will let us know which one is the absolute largest. Should triangle be the largest? Should square be the largest? Or should circle be the largest? Criteria card C will take a look at the 3-digit solution, and the Turing Machine will let us know a little bit about the ratio of even to odds. Should there be more even than odds, or should there be less even than odds? Criteria card D will take a look at the first 2 digits, triangle and square, add them up, and compare the sum to the number 6. So should the sum be less than 6? Should it be equal to 6? Or should the sum be greater than 6? And finally, criteria card E again takes a look at our 3-digit solution, but this time it'll let us know a little bit about the structure of the solution. Specifically, there are 2 cases. One where the solution has a pair, as in the example 131, or alternatively, there is no pair, but there are 2 scenarios. One where all the digits are distinct, as in the example 134, or all the digits are the same, as in the example 222. And remember, the objective of today's puzzle is to find that unique 3-digit code that abides by all the 5 criteria cards we just described. And we're going to start off with an initial proposal of 314. So the first thing I think I'd like to test is criteria card A. Okay, so the Turing Machine approves of my choice for circle. I did pick an odd one, and the Turing Machine confirms that yes, it should be odd. So let's go ahead and type up that note in section A. And again, we'll say that square is an odd digit. And since it is odd, let's go ahead and cross out both evens. So let's cross out 2 and 4. Okay. I think the next thing I'd like to test is criteria card C. Okay, so the Turing Machine does approve of my choice of 314. Notice that I do have 2 odds to a single even. Since the Turing Machine approves of that, yeah, it's letting us know that there should be less even than odds. So let's go ahead and type that up in our notes in section C. So we'll say that, again, there are less even than odds. And so what can we say? Well, we've already established that square is odd. So at a minimum, we need 2 odds. So either triangle or circle, one of those must be odd. Now the other could be odd, or it could actually be an even digit. So let's see. I think I'm going to test criteria card D next. Okay, so the Turing Machine does not approve of my choice in the first 2 digits, 3 and 1. Notice that when I add 3 and 1, I get 4. 4 is less than 6, but the Turing Machine does not agree with that. So it's basically letting us know that it has to be one of the other 2 possibilities, and that is that the sum is either going to be equal to 6 or be greater than 6. So let's go ahead and type that up in our notes for section D, and we'll say that triangle plus square is either equal to or greater than 6. Okay, and I don't think we can actually cross out anything because of that. You know, even 1 for triangle can still be added to a 5 to be equal to 6. And so, yeah, anything in between, you know, will be equal or greater. So, no, I don't think we can cross out anything. Well, that does it for this round. We did complete our 3 Turing tests. We're now going into the phase where we'll be discussing how to construct a good second round proposal. So notice we did not test criteria card B, establishing the digit that is the largest. We also did not finalize in determining what the sum of the first 2 digits might be. And we did not test criteria card E, determining whether there's a pair or not. Okay, so I think, let's see. Well, one thing I'll note is that, notice that besides criteria card B, there really is no mention of circle. It could be that circle might be the largest, but the fact that it doesn't really directly reference circle in any way leads me to believe that somehow it's going to be forced into something. So it could be that, let's see, we know we have a majority of odds. It could be that there might be no pairs, meaning that it's going to be an all odd solution. That could be a possibility. If there is a pair, well, then we'll know it's a pair of odds for sure. And then, again, we're still left with the mystery of that third digit. Is it odd or even? I think at this point it might be safe to say that, and again, this is just conjecture, it could be that there's not going to be a pair and it's going to be an all odd solution. So the question then becomes, how do the criteria cards B and I guess to some extent E kind of help us determine what our solution might be? It could be that we have a sum of 6, which would be 1 and 5 at this point. We can't have a sum of 6 with evens, that's for sure. So it could be that triangle and square are indeed odd, yes. And then circle may be forced to be maybe a 3, but that would seem almost too obvious. And we do have, yeah, that largest. I mean, the largest, if it is between triangle and square, that basically is telling us, which is 5, essentially. And let's see what else. And I guess maybe the fact that there's no pairs. There's no pairs. Well, if there's no pairs, that doesn't necessarily mean that circle would be that a 3. Why couldn't it be a 2 or a 4? Especially if it's not the largest. So I think then maybe there is a pair. Because, yeah, how would you distinguish between all the possibilities? The only thing that criteria card E helps is that, yeah, you could then determine what circle might be. Now, if that's also true, then if it is paired up, it would have to be a 1 under the scenario of the sum of 6. Yeah, because you can't have a pair of 3s to add up to 6. Because, again, you need a large, well, I guess you could have 3, 3, and then it would be 5. The largest must be the unpaired because you need a largest, and it could be a 4 or a 5. So no, maybe that's not it. The sum is the largest. So let's see. If it is 1, 5, would it be 155? How would you know? Well, it would have to be the 1. So it would be something like 155, 515. It can't be 115, obviously. So a sum of 6 with 1 and 5 only gives us 2 possibilities. Would it be that limiting? Well, let's give it a shot. So let's say 155. And let's see where that takes us. No, it can't be 155, because again, you need the smallest to be paired up. So let's say 151. 151. And just to double check, yes, of course, well, they're all odd, so that's good. Yeah, we have a majority of odds, and we have a sum of 6. Okay, well, let's give that a try. Well, the whole premise of this choice for a proposal is to really check if the sum is 6. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's retest criteria card D. Okay, so the sum is not 6. Okay, well, even though that's a disappointment, we can still make some decisions up here, and that is if the sum has to be greater than 6, that means neither triangle nor square can be 1s, because when you add 1 even to the largest of digits of 5, that's already 6 and stays 6. It doesn't go above that. But 2 is still in play because you could add it to 5, and 3 is still in play because you could add it to 4 or 5. So that's still in play. Okay. What else? Well, let's go ahead. Let's see. Let's go ahead and test criteria card E. Let's see. Okay, so it does approve of the fact that there should be a pair. I do have a pair in my proposal, and the Turing Machine gives me a check. So yeah, so there is a pair. So let's see. We'll say that the solution has a pair. Now let's talk about evens. So you can't have a pair of evens, so you have to have a pair of odds. And remember that the pair has to be smaller than that third digit. So that means 1 for circle, I think can be excluded because you can't pair it up, and it's not going to be the biggest. Okay, so 1's out. If you have a pair, I guess you could have a pair of 2s, you could have a pair of 3s, even a pair of 4s. Well, oh no, you can't. Oh yeah, you can't have a pair of 2s or 4s. But what does that mean? Because the largest, can you have pairs? So you can't have pair of 2s or 4s, but you could still have pairs nonetheless. So let's see. Can you have a 2? Let's see, how can we do this? Well, remember the even, if there is an even, it has to be bigger, right? So I don't think you can have any 2s then, because there's no way to pick a 2 and 2 smaller odds. So yeah, I think we can cross out 2. Wow, that's fascinating. So let's go ahead and cross out the 2's. Okay. And let's see, at this point, can you have a pair of 3's? Well, you can't have a pair of 3's in triangle and square because that's 6. So that's not going to work. So you could have something like 3, 5, 3 or even 5, 3, 3. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, we haven't concluded which is the biggest, but let's do this. Let's go ahead and do that again. Let's list them out. So you can't have 3, 3, 5 because that's a sum of 6, but you could have 3, 5, 3 and 5, 3, 3. Both of those have a maximum and a majority of odds. What about 4? 4, 3, 3, yeah. 3, yeah, I guess I was doing, yeah, I guess I should have listed 4 first, to be honest, if we want it to be sort of in some sort of order. So it could be, it would, I think, let's see, 4, 3, 3 would work. 4, 3, 3 would work. And yeah, I think maybe that would be it for 4. Because if circle were 4, these 3's would give you 6, so that's not valid. So only the first 4 works. 4, 3, 3, okay. And so yeah, I think that's the only possibility with 4. So yeah, I think it's down to these 3 possibilities. Okay, so what do they have in common? So we see that F, where the first digit is the largest, that those two would seem to be ambiguous. How would you pick between 4 and 5 as being basically the triangle the biggest? Because they both work. They both have a majority of odds. They're the biggest. The middle is odd. The sum of the first 2 is greater than 6. And you have a pair. So it looks like these 2 would be ambiguous. I don't see how you could distinguish them. So can we actually deduce that the answer should be 3, 5, 3? So if square is to be the biggest, okay, is there any way? Yeah, you can't have circle be the biggest because either 4 or 5 would force triangle and square to be 3, 3, giving you that 6. So yeah, is that correct? Did I miss anything? Yeah. Yeah, and vice versa. If you think about, okay, what if triangle is the largest? Well, it could be 4 or 5. You can't have 4, 4, 5, 3, 5. Oh, okay, what about 5, 3, 5? Did I miss that? 5, 3, 5. Oh, it can't be 5, 3, 5 because the largest cannot be paired up. Okay, well, I think I'm going to go with that. So here, yeah, I guess let me go ahead and say we're going to deduce that technically what? Square is the largest. Square is the largest. And I won't cross out anything, but I will go ahead and type up 353. Okay, and so let's just review before we actually go verify. And that is, yes, the middle digit is odd. Let's skip B. I'll come back to B in a second. There are more odds than evens. Yeah, that's fine. The sum of the first two is greater than 6. Sure. There is a pair. And that's just the list. And we're deducing that square is the largest. So again, the largest has to be not paired up. And it could have been even, but let's see. Yeah, so 4. 4 could have been the biggest, but again, how do you distinguish it between triangle 4 and 5? Okay, well, let's go see how we did. I think that's our solution. Hopefully I didn't make a mistake. 353. 353. Yeah. Square is the largest. Wow, fantastic. Well, how did we do versus a Turing machine? Well, I'm pleasantly surprised. This is a 5 criteria card, and we only did 5 tests. We outright deduced B. Okay, so in the first round we did ACD, and then we did DE in the second round and outright deduced B. And D was incorrect in both instances. So let's go ahead and type that up. So again, ACD. So A and C were correct. D was incorrect. Second round we tested D again, still incorrect, but E was correct. That was our pair, and we deduced that square was the largest. Fantastic. So we beat the Turing machine by 1 question. Okay. Well, again, I'll say it one more time. I might be convinced that having tested criteria card D in the first round really helped out. Otherwise, I don't think we might have been able to get the solution. I'm not sure. Obviously, I haven't run any kind of simulations or anything, but it just seems like a sound choice. Again, because some of these questions do have 3 options. Like for example, B has 3 options, and of course, so does D. Obviously, it wasn't so important to test B, but again, I think I may be sold that I need to test criteria card D, the sum of the first 2, compared to 6 in the first round, because that seems to be quite pivotal. Well, how about you? How did you solve? Have you noticed that same condition that maybe testing this criteria card is very important to do in the first round? Or have you come up with a way to circumvent that? Please add your thoughts in the comment section. And if you like the video, please do give it a thumbs up so that more people can find the channel. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe to not miss out on any future videos. Well, until next time, have a great one.